Being cooped up at home during this difficult time can affect everyone's mental health differently. So joining us this morning is psychologist from IU Health, Dr. Danielle Henderson. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And she's going to talk a little bit about how the coronavirus is affecting our day-to-day living. So how do you kind of think that the current events could be impacting our mental health?
Sure. Well, definitely it could be contributing to some increased anxiety, maybe some increased depressive symptoms, feelings of loneliness, uncertainty, and also maybe even feelings of anger and frustration.
Yeah, I know we've heard a lot of people just in the last couple days talk about that. So what are some tips for people to manage some of that stress and anxiety if they're feeling that?
Sure. Well, I always encourage people to try your best to identify what's contributing to your anxiety and stress, maybe even making a list of those things, and then figuring out how maybe you can do some problem solving. Sometimes when we're already stressed and anxious, it's hard to do it ourselves. So sharing this list with a friend and getting some advice from them. And then also I encourage focusing on what you can control. There's so much that we can't control right now, but there's a lot that we still can. So trying your best to focus on those things.
Right. And I mean, social distancing, I feel like, has been a big word that we keep hearing tossed around. We are social distancing right now. You notice our couch is separated, but that can be really hard on, people who are used to being around people. So how does social distancing kind of affect our mental health when it's days and days and days?
It could have a negative effect on our mental health. We're wired to be connected as humans. It's helpful for us, and so to not be able to do that, or for that to look differently, can be kind of challenging at this time.
Yeah, I know, especially for people who are usually surrounded by people but maybe live alone. So when you're working from home, I feel that's a specific group of people who, if you don't live with someone, you really are by yourself a lot of the time.
Yes. So I've been encouraging as best you can, get creative with how you're contacting your friends. I think maybe we'll have to be more planned with how we contact our friends, setting dates and schedules, and then being creative. Video chat is a great option. That way you can still see the person's face and connect that way.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people have like girls' nights or things where everyone's like on a 12-person FaceTime call, and so those are kind of the tips of how we can deal with the social distancing as the situation kind of continues.
Yes, definitely.
And what is the benefit of that?
You still have that, you still maintain that relationship. Even though we can't be together in the same physical space, or we have to have distance in our physical space, we can still connect through the wonderful technology that we have. So you keep that connection and bond.
I've thought that the whole time this has been going on, like, what would it be like if we didn't have FaceTime, or being able to actually see someone is so much different than just talking on the phone.
Yes, definitely. And you can also provide support. There are a lot of us are experiencing a lot of the same emotions and at this time. And so being able to talk that out with your close friendship group can work wonders.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us here today. Make sure that you use those tips as we continue to go through this period of social distancing and kind of wait for the coronavirus symptoms and period to kind of play out.